The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Taking care of your friends, Mr. Speaker. This Prime Minister has literally doubled the amount spent on outside consultants, all the way up to $21 billion a year. That works out to $1,400 per family in taxes just to fund federal government consultants. One of them is $200 million to the Prime Minister's famous consulting firm, McKinsey. No wonder Canadians are forced to pay higher taxes. Will the Prime Minister finally put an end to this costly, self-licking ice cream cone and stop sending the bill to Canadians?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the only Canadians we're asking to pay a little more are those who've been very successful in these past years and are able to make more than $250,000 in profit from selling off investments. These are things that we think we can be asking of Canadians who've been successful to support Canadians who need a little more help, whether it's with the most ambitious housing plan this country's ever seen, whether it's dental care that's already delivered supports in just 8 weeks to 200,000 seniors, or whether it's more spaces in childcare. But the Conservatives continue to protect the wealthiest instead of supporting Canadians.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
That's a little bit rich coming from him as he raises taxes on single moms for the crime of driving to the grocery store, while he treats himself to a jet-setting experience where the food on the plane of a 6-day trip was $220,000, beef brisket, parsley potatoes with truffle oil, beef tenderloin with port wine sauce, braised lamb shanks, and even cheesecake with pistachio brittle. Mr. Speaker, with Canadians lined up at the food bank, what's on the menu for this Prime Minister this summer?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives continue to use cheap attacks and slogans when they stand against support directly for Canadians.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister from the top, please.
Speaker, the Conservative leader continues to use cheap attacks and slogans while he tries to hide from the fact that he is standing with the wealthiest Canadians and against the idea of them paying a little more so that young Canadians can buy a home, so that seniors can get their teeth fixed, so that young families can find a place in childcare. These are the investments we're making that they are standing against, Mr. Speaker. We will continue to deliver for Canadians who need them while he chooses to protect the interests of his wealthy friends.
Hear, hear. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, there's nothing cheap about the $220,000 that he spent on one trip for food alone.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition asked this question. I'm going to ask all members to please keep their voices down. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition from the top.
There's nothing cheap, Mr. Speaker, about the Prime Minister spending $220,000 for food alone on a 6-day jet-setting tour for himself. All the while, homelessness up 38%. Toronto has 256 homeless encampments, where 1 in 10 people in that city are now eating at food banks. They join 2 million Canadians. The good news is life was not like this before this Prime Minister, and it won't be like this after he's gone. Can we not have a carbon tax election now to choose a government that will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime?
La coupe.
It smells like the cup.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, once again, we see the extent of
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives over this past session have stood in this House to stand against dental care for seniors. They've stood in this House to stand against expanding child care investments in spaces. They've stood in this House to stand against the kinds of investments that are helping Canadians with diabetes, Canadians afford birth control. These are the choices that they are making. Now, they're filled with slogans and bumper stickers that don't solve problems but amplify anger, while we are focused on supporting Canadians. Canadians can make their choice.